All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Cecilia Savajan. I am the Database Information Specialist at Travel Oregon. And today we're going to learn about the Locl platform. And I'm excited to introduce our expert and presenter today, Kat Sherry. She is the Director of Customer Success at Locl. Welcome, Kat.
Thanks, Cecilia. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm so excited that you're going to be spending some time with us today. I am pumped to talk about Locl. It is my mission every day to help customers on our platform break through their success ceilings, and that's what Locl helps you do. Um, let's jump into it. Quick agenda on our side. I'm going to go into a little bit about what Locl is. And then we're going to go into Google Business Profile fundamentals. You must have a claimed and verified Google Business Profile before using Locl. So we want to make sure that you're set up for success before getting onto our platform after we go through all the really, really cool features that get you excited to use it. Then I'll go into what Locl does to help support your business, increase visibility, help with Google Map Pack rankings, all that good stuff. And then we'll go into a platform demo. So I'm going to cruise through my slides pretty quickly because the demo is usually what folks love to see. That gets into the nitty gritty. And thank you, thank you, thank you so much to all of you that volunteered to use your Locl account so that we can demo on it. I have one pulled up in the background, so we'll go through one in real time. And then again, as questions come in, as we see different features or something is going on, I have my Q&A box pulled up. So, and Cecilia and I are usually good at tag teaming this. So I'll make it a point to pause in between things just in case questions come up. However, at the end, I am like this. If you have questions or you're back in your account tomorrow and you're like, what was it that Kat said? At the very, very end, I'll put up some resources so that you can continue to stay in touch with us should those questions pop up. We are an evergreen solution, and part of our partnership with Travel Oregon is that evergreen solution. So this is not just a one and done webinar. We are here to support you and your businesses and help with your visibility. So don't feel like you have to get all your questions out now. We have more than enough time to cover everything. This is just for the webinar section. Let's jump into it. A little bit about our partnership with Travel Oregon. One of our lovely partners here, Mark Patterson, that I've worked really close with on our platform. He had a fabulous quote. He said, I got introduced to Locl and boom, my business listing skyrocketed. I recommend everyone go with this company. He is a tour guide operator, and I usually demo on his account because he's like an A+++ student. But he's wonderful, and my goal is to make sure that you guys have the same experience using Locl. The program that we launched with Travel Oregon launched in March of 2021. Since then, we have 592 participating businesses on our platform. So really good success numbers there. You are not alone. And we love to see these numbers grow, which is part of our webinar. So if you haven't yet created a Locl account, we'll get into that as well. I do cover a little bit about how to sign up and walk you through that. So if you feel like you're already behind, don't worry, Kat's got you covered. And then a little bit about what makes Locl special. So Locl helps your best asset, right? Your Google business profile with visibility in a really, really specific way. And what makes Locl cool is not only do we offer recommendations about how to increase visibility, a lot of the functions are automated through our AutoPilot solution, which I'll talk about, but we gamify what you're looking at when you log into Locl. So when you first log in, you'll be brought to an overview page. Your overview page includes your overall business score. So a perfect example here of just before or like starting on our platform versus a few months later. This is one of our Travel Oregon partners who signed up for Locl. This was their score when they had initially signed up with us. And it was August, end of August, and then this was November scoring. So signing up with us, allowing AutoPilot to take over some of those functions. Maybe there's stuff that you didn't even know you needed to be doing to help maintain a healthy and visible Google business profile. Autopilot takes a lot of that guesswork and that manual work out of your hands so that you can focus on which matters most, running your business, and with that, increased visibility. So our local score is pretty easy to understand. It's just a health score. The higher it goes up or the more green that you see, the healthier, the more visible your business is when people go to Google to search for you. So a little bit more into Google and why it matters so much. It is every business's digital front door. 77% of the time, Maps is being used to search for a nearby business. I do this in my day-to-day. Something tells me you all do too. When we're looking for something, we go to Maps because we want to get to something fast. We don't want a long drive time. What's in the area? What has high reviews? What has some good pictures? What has a menu so that we can look to see what we want to eat, right? All of those things. So a Google Business Profile, or GBP, it's the only acronym we really use here, is essential for small businesses because it directly impacts online visibility, local search rankings, and customer trust. And it's done that way through a few different ways. You can be found locally, super, super important. Most consumers use Google to search for local businesses, and you want to be appearing in those local searches. First impressions matter. We talk about every business's digital front door as their Google business profile. I think of it as your digital first impression. It displays things like hours, photos, and reviews, which often consumers, are looking at even before they visit your website. It's also free and powerful. Google Business Profile is a no-cost tool that delivers measurable impact on traffic, engagement, and revenue. And there is not a lot in this world, in this economy, that you can get that is both free and powerful that you can use today. And Locl is also free to you through our partnership with Travel Oregon. So lots of freebies going around, and we love a good deal, right? So a little bit about why Google matters. And then for our folks that are not sure about Google Business Profile management and claiming and verifying, this is for you. So please don't be apprehensive about claiming or verifying your business on Google. It's pretty easy. As I walked through a quick example, this is a business that's like right next to me that has not been claimed. So this is for a business that has a physical location. You can claim your business through Google Maps and then locate it on Maps and then click Claim This Business, which I have highlighted here. And then you're going to get this little prompt that says Manage Now. Once you select Manage Now, it's going to walk you through and then pass you on to the verification piece. Google walks you through all of this so you understand what you need to do. Really, really simple. 95% of the time, you're going to be asked to record a video to verify your location. It should not be overthought, but one of the prompts, and Google does give you suggestions on what they need. So a couple recommendations with some users that we've ran into before. One, you don't need to do like a full MTV Cribs tour of your business. What Google needs to see is that you're the owner, right? And you're verifying to Google that you are a legitimate business owner with a legitimate business. So opening doors or a POS with like keys only a manager would have. Doing a quick once over of like your store, your premises, and then also grabbing any sort of signage that you have, and then street signs as well. About 35 seconds is all that you need, but one thing that Google does not suggest to do, which folks run into issues with verifying, is please talk. When you are recording your verification video, explain to Google what it is you're showing them. We have people that don't get verified because they were silent the whole time and just went through like their store and showed them opening a door and things like that. You're trying to verify you are who you say you are. So please just narrate as you're going through it. Again, 35 to 55 seconds, even that would be kind of too much. Does not need to be a 5 minute long video. They just need to see that you exist, that it's real. So don't overthink this. You hit upload, and all the screen prompts walk you through this. Super, super easy. And verifications typically happen really quickly, which is awesome. So we've run into businesses that get verified like immediately and some that only have like a day or two turnaround time. Google does say it can take up to at least 5 days to verify. So if you're kind of in this waiting period, it's always good to check on your verification status by signing back into your Google account, going to that business profile manager and checking in the status column if you're verified, pending, or not verified. So you can always go back and reference what status that's in. But again, super, super easy. Please don't be intimidated by this. I promise it's so easy. And this is, I mean, literally, this took me 2 seconds to put together for a business that's right down the street. I would have just had to gone through and finish the verification piece. Once your business is verified, Google is supposed to send a email letting you know that you've been verified. We've seen some businesses not get the email before, so always good to double check. I gave you an example of a physical location. However, if you are a service area business, like I talked about, Mark, who is a tour guide operator, his business does not have a physical address. So you do not have to have a physical address to have a Google business profile. When you are going through the claiming and verifying piece of your Google business profile, when you go to claim it, you can say that you go out to customers, like think of like an electrician or a plumber or something like that. You can find them on Google Maps, but they come to you. So you can be present on Google Maps. Don't think that you can't just because you offer services and don't have a physical storefront. The process is just a little bit different, but they are called service area businesses, or SABs, in Google speak. And you can be claimed and verified on Google and be found on Google. So I don't want to rule out anyone who offers services. Very much eligible to be on Google, and you should be, right? Because it's free and it's powerful, measurable impact on traffic and revenue. We love to see that. So that's a little bit about how to get set up on Google. I know a lot of our folks are already there, so fantastic. Now that we're all set up on Google, what does Locl do for me? Why does Locl matter? So if any of you have used your Google business profile manually, there's not a lot there and not a lot of recommendations. You're kind of just like clicking around, and if there's like a red icon, you click on that and do that task next. Not a lot of prompts to like teach you what to do to help with visibility, right? It's a little bit clunky. So where Locl comes in, we offer a competitive suite of tools designed to enhance and streamline your Google business profile versus that manual handling. And our overarching approach can lead to increased visibility, customer engagement, and then ultimately business growth. So we do that through a couple things that are specific to Locl that you can't get managing your location in Google natively. Our first and probably one of my favorite tools is our enhanced security. So Google allows users to suggest edits to your business profile. You might have seen this even when you're Googling stuff. It's a little pencil icon that says suggest an edit. This can lead to unauthorized or incorrect changes. And Locl's profile lock is a feature that monitors your listing and prevents those unwanted modifications from coming through, which maintains the integrity of your business information. So locks it down. It's just a security measure. Some may have never seen a change happen to their Google business profile. That's great. Again, it's just insurance in case something goes in and suggests an edit. We have seen an increase in this with Gemini, Google's AI. Sometimes it thinks its information is more correct. So good just to have profile lock on just in case a suggest an edit comes through. One of our other features are our extended analytics and insight. Local offers 18 months worth of historical data, where Google only offers about a 6 month look back, which gives you deeper insights into your profile's performance over time. We can get into that as well. We have a previous period comparison, but also a year over year comparison. So it's great just to look at different trends. How many direction requests were you having? Call clicks, web clicks during different points. Maybe you were running a promotion or it was around the holidays, or maybe you were closed for the season, something like that. You can see that all through your local dashboard. And then another cool feature is our social connector. So you can schedule and publish posts from Locl directly to Google, of course, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, which maintains consistent branding and engagement across all platforms. That leads us to AutoPilot, which I had mentioned. AutoPilot is our AI solution, which automates all of the required tasks needed to help keep your Google business profile visible and healthy with like very minimal effort on your part. And part of that is publishing posts across your social channels so that you don't have to worry about it weekly. So when we get into the demo, I'll show you a little bit about what that looks like so you have better understanding. Lastly, here, comprehensive support and a user-friendly interface. We design Locl for small businesses to be used by small businesses. So it's easy to use, it's intuitive, you do not need to have marketing experience, and we provide clear task recommendations to boost your online visibility. And our support team is here to help you optimize your Google business profile every step of the way. If you have questions, you get connected with a real person on the other side of our ticket queue. You are not going to be sent to a whole bunch of help desk articles that, don't really help and don't really answer your question. There is a real live beating heart on the other side of your questions when tickets come into our queue. And then it's free, right? We talked about this before. It is totally free for tourism facing businesses through our partnership with Travel Oregon. So you have nothing to lose by using Locl, everything to gain. All right, for those of you that have not gotten started on Locl and do have a claimed and verified Google business profile, this is how you sign up through our partnership with Travel Oregon. The QR code will take you to the sign up page, or I've included a link here when Cecilia sends out the deck, so don't feel like you have to do this now. But please, please, please use this link or use this QR code to sign up. That's what gets you free access, and that's what we're here for. And then it's super easy. So once you get signed up, you'll create an account and then you'll be prompted to connect your Google business profile. So whichever Gmail account has manager access to that Google business profile is the one that you want to connect. Once that's connected, you'll get a prompt to allow local access to like make updates. Seems a little bit scary. Like the wording is a little bit scary, but it's just what Google makes us use. But it just says that Locl can make updates to your Google business profile. That's all it is. So you'll want to hit allow for that. And then as soon as that happens, Locl will have a connection to your Google business profile. And the import of data is like instantaneously. It loads really, really quickly, which is awesome. So once that is up and ready to go, you can complete your onboarding. I'm going to show you a welcome video that we have. It drops down automatically when you create an account, but it lives in your Locl account even after you close out of it. So I'll show you what that looks like, how to access it again if maybe you closed out and you were just trying to play around in the system. It's still there for you, so I'll show you where to look. And then that's it. You'll automatically enroll into AutoPilot and can start optimizing your Google business profile right away. All right. Before I move ahead, I got the Q&A open. I'm not seeing any questions, but I do want to pause for a second and just see if any questions are coming in now that we've gone through Google and then why we love Locl. Okay, cool. I told you I would cruise through those slides so that we could focus a lot on our demo. So we're going to demo. I'm going to take a second, stop sharing my screen, and then flip over to Miss Misty's account. You've been talking to me on the other side of the ticket queue. Misty, if you're here, I don't have all the participants pulled down. So thank you so much for volunteering your account because I knew you were in there and doing some work. So this is a good one to show. So I am going to stop sharing. Um, for anyone that does not have your local account pulled up and you can sort of navigate between me demoing and you following along, I encourage you to do so. And then let me get this shared here. Wonderful. Okay, so we are Tim. I see, where does AutoPilot gather images and information from the post? Great question, Tim. So AutoPilot indexes your Google business profile, any photos that you've uploaded previously or even within Locl. So that's where it gets that information. We don't, our AI, this has come up a couple times. So for people that are new to AutoPilot, it does not like create AI generated images or anything like that. It indexes photos and videos that you as the owner have already uploaded to create those posts. And when we get to the post tab of the demo, I'll show you what that looks like. But a great question and a great reminder. Everyone, please upload photos and videos. It is so, so, so important for your Google business profile. I'm going to plug it probably 2 or 3 more times before this webinar is over. So if you have not uploaded photos and videos recently, it is a good time to do that. Google's algorithm is very, very hungry, and that helps a ton out with visibility. Just having recent photos, you do not have to be a professional photographer. Grab your phone, snap some pictures of your products, your store, customers, your team, and get those uploaded. Really, really helps with visibility. Okay, cool. Great question, Tim. Thank you. All right, we are in our Locl account. You are brought here to your overview page. And I told you, you might have closed out of that welcome video. Here she is. So if you need to come back and watch this welcome tour video, just goes through, highlights our key features. You can pop this open. I'm not going to do it because it's going to start auto playing. But it is here. So if you're ever like, where's that video again? I closed out of it because I wanted to tinker around. It lives right here on your overview page, so you always have access to it. Okay, cool. So our date range always defaults to the last 30 days. You can change your date range. I'm going to leave it on 30 days. And then here is that scoring that I was talking about. So our scoring falls into 3 different, our overall business score falls into 3 different buckets. So our first bucket is our foundational Google business profile score. This is literally, think of a foundation, right? Name, address, phone number, business description, all of that goes into your foundational score. Next is your recent activity score. This is recency of activities. AutoPilot handles a lot of this particular bucket on its own, but we talked about uploading photos. We need that, right? So that is some of that little bit of work that you guys have to do to help AutoPilot out. So other recent activities are, how recently have you been reviewed? How recently have you responded to those reviews? How recently have you published posts? That all goes into recent activity. And then lastly here is our directory score. Misty has enrolled in our directory sync. This is a separate product from our AutoPilot subscription. This is a paid add-on, which we do discount through our partnership with Travel Oregon. However, what this does, and it's not necessary to participate in the program, not at all. It is totally user discretion. If you would like to use it, it is available to you. But what Directory Sync does is it takes your business listing information and it automatically enrolls that listing information across about 50 directories. Think Apple, Waze, Uber, and then like some obscure directories. But it basically supercharges your listing because when I'm searching for hotels near me, as an example, because we're looking at Misty's account, because your listing information is across all of these other directories, Google indexes that when a consumer is searching for like hotels near me. And when it sees that your listing information is across all these other directories, it pulls you to the top of the ranks because it's like, oh, this is an important business there. They're present on all these other websites. So directory sync, not necessary to participate with our partnership through Travel Oregon. It is available to you if it was something that you would like to enroll your business into. So that's our directory sync score. All three of these build up your overall business score. What you'll also see when you log in is our competitor ranking activity. This is new. We just refreshed this if you haven't logged in a while. And it looks different because it does. I think we rolled this out like last week. So if you are a service area business, right, we talked about those, your competitor ranking activity and your direction requests won't be available. They are not available because you are a service area business. And the only way that we can pull in your competitor ranking activity and your direction request is if you have a physical storefront or a physical business you work out of. So if you've logged in and you're not seeing any of this and you're a service area business, good. That's how it should look. It needs like a physical pinpoint location in order to pull in this information. However, this is all available to you. So again, user discretion. Some people really, really love competitor ranking activity. Some people could care less about it. Misty's here is an interesting example. I pulled this up ahead of time and I was like, oh, great. We pull in a mile radius of your location for your primary category, which is bed and breakfast. However, a mile goes out into the water here. So we're not pulling in any businesses. So you'll see no competitor data available. Within that mile radius, there may just not be another bed and breakfast. So it's, it's a great tool if it's useful to you. But just a mile radius shows you where you compare across competitors with like categories. We also have your top search terms for the past 30 days as well, just so you can see how people are finding you. And then if you ever want to open up, like maybe you want a larger radius, right? This is the system auto scan to get that report. You're welcome to come in here, pick your business, increase your mile radius, or increase the grid size if it's of relevance to you. So it lives within the keyword rankings report. You can get to it from the overview tab by clicking see how you rank against your competitors. And then if we scroll down just a little bit, we do have our direction requests available within here as well. And then you can see how your score has changed over time. This is just different activities that you've taken, increases, what specifically was increased, and when as well. And then right here at the bottom is all of our AutoPilot activities. So if you're ever like, you'll get emails about what AutoPilot is doing for you, but if you delete an email because you're looking at something else and you're like, what was that thing that AutoPilot sent me? You can always log in and take a look here at any upcoming activities AutoPilot has scheduled for you, and then the dates in which those activities will happen. Click view if you want to take a look at those. And then here off to the side is anything AutoPilot has completed. You can always view more. This is everything AutoPilot's taking care of, which is great. It's time saver. We love it. Okay. Any questions before I move to, I'm going to go to the photos and videos tab since we already had a question on that. I'm seeing the Q&As a little quiet, but I wanted to pause here. Okay, moving to photos and videos. Everyone's going to upload fresh photos and videos as soon as we get off this webinar. And I know Misty had some in here, so I'm really excited to show you guys this. Okay, so Really, really cool feature of AutoPilot. We only take the photos you have uploaded, right? We don't create new AI images. Anthony, I see your question on AutoPilot. Do you have to add a description with each photo? No, you do not. I am going to show I don't have photos to upload on this account, but you just upload photos. And then in Google natively, because the question is always like, oh, what does that look like for someone who's searching for me on Google? All of those photos fall under the by owner category when you're looking on Google Maps at your business. So, super easy. What Autopilot does for you, which is really, really cool because we talked about Google's algorithm being very, very hungry and it wants like constant fresh content. But what happens is a lot of times we're talking with small businesses that are like, oh, I got this whole zip file of like 100 photos. And then they upload it once, and then the next month rolls around and their visibility decreases because they need more photos again. And they're like, oh, I uploaded them all already, right? So what's really cool about Autopilot is you can bulk upload. Misty has done it here. So this is a plus 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 example. You can bulk upload. She has 163 photos that she's already uploaded that Autopilot has scheduled for the next 9 months. She don't have to do anything for the next 9 months. These photos are just going to publish in the background for her. Love this. So this is what it's going to look like under your scheduled collections tab. You literally drag and drop them here. And then depending on how many photos you have, you're right, it's totally user discretion here. You can change how many photos are uploaded each month. Some do 5, Misty's doing 20, you could do 10, you could do 2. It's whatever works for you. And then Autopilot will tell you how many batches of photos for each month you have scheduled out. Those will come under your scheduled collections. And then right here, you can see these are all the dates these photos are going to publish out on. And then those will upload automatically. And then if we come to the Google Business Profile published collections, this is everything live on Google. So these have already been uploaded. These are available to anyone who's searching for your business. This is also where Autopilot indexes to create those posts, which we'll cover next. So another cool thing within here, we have a logo, which is great. You can, one, please set a logo and a cover photo. But when you go to add collection here to publish to your Google Business Profile manually, hit add collection. And if you have a cover photo or a logo that you would like to set, again, this is perfect. Here's Misty's logo. You can set that here. And then here's her cover photo. So those can be set automatically through, I'll show you one more time how to get there. That is through the publish to Google Business Profile manually. Just hit add to collection. Outside of that, you can just bulk upload and then set how many photos you'd like to have uploaded each month. They run in the background. If for whatever reason you don't have, like you need photos uploaded today, right now, needs to be live on your Google Business Profile, you can use that same button and then hit it defaults to photo and then upload this way and it publishes out automatically. Okay. Any questions about photos? Okay, cool. If the photos are also published to social media posts, you typically add a description. Anthony, I think I understand your question. We'll talk. I'm moving on to posts here. Let's just do it. This is so you can connect your social media, your other social media accounts to Locl to publish to Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook on top of Google. The description is what the post creates. So these are our scheduled posts scheduled to go out. If Misty had her other accounts connected, those can just be toggled on. And then here we have like highlights of what those look like. Sorry, that's probably not the best view. On Facebook, Instagram, and then LinkedIn, right? So as far as the description goes, we automatically autopilot creates that post text for you. So this is what is already scheduled to go out. Autopilot writes this, and then it publishes out automatically. And you can come in and look at, obviously, this is a preview of the upcoming post that you have. A couple things with this. You get an email every single time Autopilot has an activity scheduled. You will get an email about these posts that are scheduled to go out. Couple things with that. Once you get that email, I'm going to do it within here, within Locl. You can make edits to any of this. So you can just hit edit post. Maybe you want to swap out a photo, hit edit post. The text is within here. I would just X out of this photo and swap in a new one. If I wanted to change the text, I could do that as well. And then you just hit update. Super, super easy. If you don't love the tone of voice, it doesn't capture who you are as an individual, and you want to focus on something specific. I was working with someone who ran a hotel who had just installed EV charging stations for folks that were staying with her. And none of her posts included EV charging stations because it was a brand new feature. So we can come in at any point in time and you can add a location specific post prompt criteria, and you can teach Autopilot keywords, tone, other strategic direction that you'd like it to follow, and it will automatically update those posts based off of what you've typed in here. So in that example, we just typed in, sprinkle in EV. We have EV charging stations available. We hit save, it updated that. All of our posts spoke about having this extra amenity. What's also really cool, we were working with a business that is in Canada, French Canadian, and obviously all of our posts are in English. We used our post prompt criteria to change all of the text to French. So cool. Updated automatically, worked flawlessly. Mandy, I see your question here. By connecting your social media, does Autopilot create posts on Google based on your social posts? No. So to answer your question, Google is the teacher for posts. So Autopilot will index all of your Google business profile data, your primary category, your website, your business description, your photos. And based off of that information, it creates these evergreen posts to highlight and to speak about, right? We're in Oregon, basic information service area. We know we're in Oregon. We're talking about Oregon. It's a bed and breakfast. So we're going to focus on this evergreen content for bed and breakfasts in Oregon versus looking at your social media posts and then reversing it. However, if you've been working really hard on your social media posts and have some really good strategic direction, boom, come up here and you can add that post prompt criteria here. And then you can teach Autopilot to follow that same sort of language, tone, focus for your social media posts. Tim, I see here, is it easy to find how Autopilot posts look on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn? How do you find what the post looks like on your Google business profile? Yes, great question. So I showed you here. If you're ever curious what this is going to look like on different platforms, right? Because they're all a little bit different. This one, not the best example because they're not connected, but you can hover over each platform and it will show you how that image and that text is going to show up. And then if you ever want to know what it looks like on Google, you can search it natively and pull it up. It publishes right to your Google business profile. So that's what it will look like on there. So super easy to find and to be able to look at what that looks like on your other social channels. And then Kim, I see here, I don't want AI to write any of my posts. Can I still write my own posts and have it connect to my socials if I disable Autopilot? Yes. So a great question. Perfect segue. I was going to get there. If you don't want to use it, you can turn publishing off. Easy peasy. So if you are a post update wizard and are crushing this, some businesses aren't. That's okay. That's why we created this. If you're already good and are taking care of this, you can turn publishing off, not a problem. And then you come in to create post manually, right? Because this won't exist because this is all autopilot, but you can hit create post manually. Here are all of your social channels. After you get those connected, you would just toggle on which ones you want them to publish across and then create the post that you want. What's also really cool is if you are using Instagram right now and you're like, oh, I love my Instagram posts, I would love to repurpose those. It is bi-directional. So as soon as you connect, and I'm going to show you how to do it here, we're going to go to connected accounts to connect your other socials. This is where they all live. So you just need to connect them. After they're connected, it's bi-directional. So we're also going to import your posts from LinkedIn, from Instagram, from Facebook. And then when you go to the post tabs, after those are connected, you can go to draft posts, which is a bad example right now. Or sorry, publish posts, because these aren't connected yet, right? We don't have socials connected. You'll go to publish posts. All of those posts from your other social channels will import under published because they've already been published. And then it's really easy for you to go in and here we go, copy to new post. So if you're like, oh, I had posted this like amazing picture on Instagram, I would love to repurpose that for my Google account, but I don't want to have to rewrite everything. No worries. Get your Instagram connected. Those posts will import into Locl, come to publish posts, and then just hit copy to new post. I'm going to show you how to do it, even though they're not connected. And they're just going to toggle Google on and then publish to Google. So all pretty super user friendly. And a great call out if you're using posts and you know how to do this, feel free to turn off publishing. This can be toggled on and then toggled off at any point in time. You're not going to break anything by, I mean, don't go crazy and flip it on and off, but you know, you can turn it on and off at your discretion. So that is almost all of what AutoPilot does in terms of posting. The other two things that AutoPilot takes care of for you that is special is if you have, and you can see them here, you receive a 5-star review, AutoPilot creates a standalone 5-star review post to go out, and it just takes the text of whatever that 5-star review is. I don't know if Misty has any. Yeah. That's okay. She's gonna get so many after this. It's gonna pull up that text and that's all it is. It says 5-star review, highlights a great review that you've gotten from some of your customers. So that is specific to AutoPilot. Again, it's a standalone post that comes as you get a 5-star review, and then ours changes as well. We've all gone somewhere on vacation or around town, and we went to a restaurant on a Monday that said it was open and it was closed, and that was a bummer, right? So what's really cool is we have standalone posts for hours changes as well. We got a holiday coming up here soon. So perfect example, when you go into Locl and update your hours, a standalone post gets created just to remind folks, hey, our hours have changed. Just make sure you double check that. So that's the only difference, only other thing that AutoPilot does for you in terms of posts. Cool. My Q&A is empty, so I'm going to start moving ahead. Mandy got me. All right. And old employees set up our Locl account. How do I delete them as a user and delete old locations that we no longer manage? Mandy, that's a great question. I am going to, at the end, when I flash my resources up, submit a ticket to us so that we can look into that old account. I'm assuming that you might have set up a new one. So I just want to make sure that we have you set up with like the correct owner account and we get the other one removed out so that we don't have like any extra noise. Gotcha, girl. Okay, cool. All right, let's move on to reputation. This one's real fast. Reviews. Everyone loves them, right? Very, very similar. So I was going to bring up turning off publishing for reviews because we love our small business owners, and some of you connect with your customers one to one, know their names, have gotten their life story, and you love responding to reviews personally. If that is the case, turn publishing off. You can respond to those reviews. We only ask that you do respond to reviews, right? Recent activity, you need to be responding to them. Autopilot, should you leave everything on, will respond to any reviews within 4 days of you receiving them. I don't know if we have any recent, no. So within 4 days of you receiving a review, we give you a ramp period, right? Like a robot is not working in the background and is just going to start replying and posting stuff. That does not happen. So 4 days, you get an email as soon as that review comes in, and Autopilot says, hey, you got a review. This is what I've scheduled to respond back with. You can edit it, you can cancel it, respond yourself, whatever you choose to do, or you can ignore it and it'll just publish it in 4 days. So that is available to you. Very, very similar with our posts. If you want to add in something specific, tone, a keyword that you'd like it to focus on, please feel free to add that in here. What's really cool about reviews, which some folks forget about, this is great. You can even see some of this is used. Keywords are really important for reviews. I don't know if you guys have searched stuff on Google recently, but there's this whole AI suggestion, like it's own Q&A, and do it later. But if you want to go look at a business and like ask Google AI a question on a Google business profile, it indexes your reviews. So recently I was going out and I have a friend that's gluten-free. So I was looking at a restaurant to go eat at, and I didn't even go through the menu. I searched if they had gluten-free options, and it indexed feedback from the reviews section to tell me whether or not they had gluten-free options on the menu. So I say this to remind you, if you're turning off autopilot, publishing for autopilot for review responses, just make sure you're incorporating some of those keywords. It's great to get a response back, but we also want to make sure that we're implementing some SEO with our responses too, right? So this is great. You know, the name is mentioned within the review response and a great experience. You appreciated the ambiance and the warm welcome and the porch, you know, these really specific words. That's what people are searching for, what people are looking for. You want to make sure that those words are in there because AI indexes that. Gemini, Google is looking at those words, and it helps people find stuff because sometimes we're not necessarily searching for like hotels near me. It's like a bed and breakfast near me or cool places locals hang out, you know, things like that. So make sure you're incorporating some keywords. Recent review responses are great, but don't just say thank you. It's an opportunity to add in some key search terms as well. So when people are looking for your goods or services, it's pulling up when consumers are searching. So if you need reviews, because we've done that before on webinars where people are like, Kat, I have not been asking for reviews on my Google business profile, so it looks real light around here. You can always come to your reputation tab and then hit copy, review, quest, link copied. I see it here, and I'm going to show you guys in real time. I am a customer that has now stayed at this bed and breakfast. Misty has sent me this link. Ta-da! I get to review her in real time. So that link is available to you. We're working on implementing a QR code too, coming soon. But shows up, you can solicit a review right then and there. Feel free to send that link out to folks. Usually at point of sale is when we get the best responses. And then I know there was a question about posts, right? And what they look like on Google. I'm just going to show you, sidetracking a little bit. Obviously, we're on the Google business profile here. But if you scroll down here just a little bit, here are all those posts that we were talking about that Autopilot has scheduled for Misty. So this is what they look like on Google. A little bit hidden. Some people still don't know that they exist. It was new to me when I started here. But this is what they look like on Google. Wouldn't you want to stay here? There's my 5-star review post. I'm so glad we looked at this together. This is what our 5-star review posts look like too. So that's what Autopilot does for you. Really, really neat. Okay, cool. That's reputation. Any questions about that? Okay, great. Let's get into some foundational stuff. So I've navigated down to the Manage Locations tab. This is where your foundational Google business profile information exists. Hit edit here. And for any of our folks that are starting, this is where everything imports. Again, what AutoPilot does for you, again, not the best example because Google does not allow descriptions for lodging categories, so bed and breakfasts. But if you're not a hotel or a bed and breakfast, you will see a business description that is generated for you. You can replace, you can suggest another, you can edit the text, whatever you'd like to do. Again, it's just a really good way to implement some cool SEO. We see because the business description is set up when you're claiming and verifying, you're kind of like rushing through the process. So if I were Misty and I was rushing through the process, I'd be like, come stay at my really cool bed and breakfast on the Oregon coast, which is all great, all true. But there's a real opportunity to add in some cool search terms into this for what people are looking for, something that's specific to your business that makes it unique. Make sure that that's in your business description. And again, AutoPilot can help with that as well. So that's available to you. And then primary category is required to claim and verify a Google business profile. However, we do have additional categories, and it's really, really important that you look at these because we're isolated to what Google allows us for categories, and they can be a little bit dense. So what's really cool about adding additional categories is you open up your net. Obviously, you want to make sure it's still applicable to your business. But here's a perfect example of Misty's business, bed and breakfast, but she's also a hotel, has a guest house, and functions as a wedding venue. So if you are those things, or you kind of do a mix, right? I always tell people to come down here, and you can search. So I'm a hotel, I can just type in hotel. Well, I'm a wellness hotel, right? Like it just expands your net in terms of the business or the service that you're offering. So if you're not sure, come in and take a look here. And then you can get those categories added. Additional categories are super, super important. So if you haven't added those, come in here for your business. Make sure it's applicable. Like, right, this would not be like she's not a horseback rider, tour operator, or anything like that. So make sure it fits. But definitely take a look at those additional categories. It does help for people that are searching for the goods or services that you're offering. AutoPilot does offer some additional categories that are recommended if you're not too sure what to search for. They may not be applicable. You don't have to use these. They are just as a reference point. So I have questions get asked about this. We are not saying if you are not a vacation home rental agency, don't use that. It's just a computer that is giving you some suggestions to go off of. So, and then basic address information, service area business, you can come in and add your service area. Dun, 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 works the same way as what I showed you for the additional categories. We could get a little more specific. I know this is not the correct location, but you can search by city, town names, zip codes, however you want to search for that. That's how you can add in your service area. Really, really important because we know that people are searching for things within a certain proximity. So make sure you're adding that service area business so that people know within a certain radius, this is where you service. And then off to the side here, we have our business hours, super, super, super important. And then special business hours, which I have questions about. So we automatically load in bank holidays, if you will. Memorial Day is coming up. So we will ask you to confirm hours if you're open or closed or even have abbreviated hours. The other cool thing too is maybe you're like closed because you're getting some like plumbing done or something like that. I don't know. Electrical works, something like that. On Tuesday, May 7th, you can come in and correct hours for that and add a special schedule if your business is going to be closed for any reason. Like I said, we take care of the bank holidays for you, so those are already loaded within there. But if you're doing something else or going to be closed or have a half day or something like that, you can always come in and add in special business hours for those days. Anthony, I see your question about what about by appointment only rather than business hours. Really good question. This has come up before. So use your discretion on this. What I recommend for businesses is Google. I'm going to tell you what Google likes to see, and then I'm going to tell you how to work around this. So Google likes to see operating hours, which I know is hard when you're appointment only. So what I recommend is you usually have core operating hours, right? Like I work remote, but I don't work 24 hours a day, right? So this is what I'm comparing it to. So if you're a 9 to 5, as an example, please go in and add those hours. Misty's a good example. If she's bed and breakfast, she open 24 hours. You may not want to do that. For by appointment only, what I recommend you do, we're going to scroll back up to the top here where we have that business description. And what I would ask you to do is like, and I'm not going to do it because I don't want to touch her Google business profile, right? I would put in at the beginning of your description in like all caps with like some asterisks, by appointment only. And then save that so when people are searching for your goods or services, your business, they see that it's by appointment only. And then when you scroll down, I don't think she might have it. You will have, I don't think she has it. Based off of there's certain online profiles and contact info based off of your business category. You should have an appointment link that you can add within here so that people can schedule appointments with you. So that's what I would encourage for folks that are by appointment only, is putting that in your description, and then making sure you have that appointment link available so that people can schedule with you. And then Brooke, here I see my organization operates a public park that is open from dawn to dusk rather than set daily hours. Is there a way to list the hours this way on a Google profile? So yes, it won't be like dawn to dusk, right? We would have to use actual like hours. But so long as you add the hours in, and like that was a perfect example of how you can use like special business hours, you can come in and add new dates for that. So what I would look at, dawn to dusk, if you want to say like 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., right? The sun's setting a little bit later. You can go in and add those hours for that. Okay, cool. Great questions, guys. And then, sorry, we've kind of gone through it really quickly. Add in all of your online profile and contact information. Google indexes this, so that's all available to you. Go in and fill that out. And then I'm going to switch over to attributes and services really quickly. These will pre-populate, but I wanted to mention the services piece. So services, where these categories come from are the categories you select. Our primary category is bed and breakfast, and then our additional categories are hotel, guest house, wedding venue. When you come in here, it's really, really important to add a service under each of these. And you may not see a service populate. It's really, really easy. Bed and breakfast, I'm like hotel, wedding venue might be better. I'm going to do wedding venue. There we go. I was like, I wanted some to pre-populate for me. So sometimes it pre-populates, sometimes it does not. You can come in and add whatever it is, catering, probably maybe wedding photography, something like that, wedding and engagement. So you can add in different services under, not save, under your services. So make sure you're adding that because that's what people are searching for. So wanted to call that one out. Profile lock is here. This location is unlocked. No activity has been found, but you can also access your profile lock from the Manage Locations tab. It's right here, and you can toggle it on and off from here as well. I also know that I'm running up on time here. So we had talked about connected accounts for socials. Lastly, for performance data, I'm just going to go really quickly to Google Business Profile Performance. This is where all your analytics live. I'm not going to get into all of them because running a little short on time and I want to make sure we get questions answered if there are any more left. But this is where all of your data lives. Your date range is here, right? We talked about having that like really far look back period that Google doesn't offer, and also comparing it over last year and the previous period. This is where you can come in and play with that. You can also download the report as well, but it also shows how consumers found you. Were they using Google Maps natively, or were they looking at Google browser searches? Have we seen any increases or decreases? And then your top search terms are here as well. So Google Business Performance, that's all within here. And then one more tab I'm going to go to really, really quickly. Everyone gets their score and they're like, great, I got my score. What do I do to fix it? We're going to go to visibility score. That's this tab here. We have a lot of reports that live within here. What I'm going to ask you to do is go to current visibility report, hit view. Dun, dun, dun. This is Misty's current visibility report, will be for you as well. And then you're going to scroll here. What is impacting your local visibility score? This tells you anything that is either correct, positively impacting that overall business score, or actions you need to take. We literally just looked at those categories, don't have services listed, right? That was on that last tab that I showed you. So we're losing points for that. We also looked at special hours of operation. Those hours needed to be confirmed. They have not been confirmed, so we're losing 10 points for that. This all goes into that foundational Google Business Profile score. Here's some examples for recent activity too. So if you're ever like, okay, well, I did all the things and autopilot's running, Cat. Now what do I do? You're going to go to visibility score report, go to current visibility report, hit view, and it's going to show you what actions need to be taken to help increase your visibility. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to throw up some resources really, really quick for people that were able to hang on so you know how to get a hold of us. One other thing that I wanted to mention too is if you ever need to get a hold of us and you're in your Locl account, please just open the chat box in the lower left-hand corner. That submits a ticket directly to us. So if you have any questions, feel free to funnel them that way. Like I said, there is a human being on the other side here and happy to help you if you have any more questions afterwards. Cecilia, I'll turn it over to you now that I rapid fired through the end.
Yeah, well, we got there. Thank you, everyone attending today, for being so engaged. Yes, thank you again for joining. You'll receive the follow-up email with a link to the resources from today. So, Kat, thank you also for your time. And have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. It was so good to chat with you.